What is up, everybody, and welcome to Sly Spy Gaming. Midnight Suns just dropped a bomb on us in the form of DLC news, and its name is Deadpool. On January 1st, Midnight Suns slyly announced that Deadpool was coming soon via a Twitter announcement seemingly written by the Merc himself. Along with the announcement, a picture showed Deadpool in a very witchy/wizardy-like hat. Bit by bit, little teasers and reminders were dropped that he was coming soon, but they just released a full-blown trailer of the upcoming DLC, which has been dubbed The Good, the Bad, and the Undead. The DLC looked epic, and with it being so close to the game's release, it looks to be a nice little cherry on top of my personal pick for the game of 2022. The trailer not only showed off Deadpool gameplay, but promised the release date, showed off a possible new villain, and might even be diving into some vampire territory as well.
Spooky.
Therefore, in this video, I'll be breaking down the new DLC with what we know, as well as making a few assumptions and predictions on the things that we don't, based on what we know about the game's story so far. Before I dive into it though, I would like to drop a line to our Midnight Suns Discord community, filled with tons of discussion on all the aspects of this gem of a game. If you're interested, check out the invite link in the description below. Now let's get into the nitty-gritty of what we can take away from the new Midnight Suns DLC. So for those of you who don't know, the rumor was Deadpool was supposed to be a part of the original hero lineup, but was held back apparently closer to launch because of his fit with the rest of the team, which makes complete sense because of his obvious crazy personality. Fast forward to today, and we are on the cusp of his release. With the release of Deadpool comes the promise of a bunch of new additions to the game, such as new cosmetics, new abbey upgrades, new story missions, as well as an all-new evil villain. The trailer shows this off a bit, but I wanted to really dig into the details and give my thoughts on this. So, it starts out with Deadpool essentially being his usual goofy self, but with some talk of vampires. So instantly my takeaway was that this was definitely meant to be a DLC that was released around Halloween. Given the vampires, the wizard costume, and overall feel of the trailer, it just made sense. Adding to my theory, Midnight Suns was initially slated for a March 2022 release, and from the looks of the DLC trailer and your typical studio's post-release schedule, I could totally see the DLC dropping in either August or September. However, obviously plans changed after the game was pushed to December 2022. My assumptions were that most of the work on Deadpool was already done at this point, and that he was then released as DLC very shortly after the game's release, just to push him out and maybe gain a little bit more hype for the game. Moving on from that, we start seeing some sick-ass gameplay for Deadpool, and while it doesn't have the gore and harsh language that we have come to expect, the gameplay and the writing seemingly do very well with what they can, in my own opinion. Would I have liked to see him hacking and slashing up vampire bodies? Most definitely. But seeing as this was a T14 game, I came to the obvious assumption early on that we would not be getting the same Ryan Reynolds movie Deadpool that we have come to expect. You know, the good ones, at least. The trailer also shows off a new abbey upgrade as well, and teases new cosmetic items for Deadpool. While it isn't confirmed yet that new cosmetics will be available for Hunter, it shows a number of different abbey outfits for Deadpool himself. While these new outfits may change his shirt and pants, it seems Deadpool is pretty adamant about keeping his mask on, and even jokes that there wasn't a budget for him to take it off. Additionally, the abbey upgrade mentioned previously seems to be a Deadpool-themed food truck. It is safe to assume that, like the other characters on the team, there will be some requirements to obtaining this, such as bringing Deadpool on missions or upgrading his cards. Nevertheless, getting more Deadpool-themed items around the Abbey will be interesting, and I am curious to see where exactly the developers have decided to place this eyesore of a truck. Sorry, Deadpool. The trailer also dives into a new bad guy doing bad stuff. At first glance, I was like, okay, who is this Scarlet Witch knockoff? However, after closer inspection, I came up with a pretty solid theory on who I personally think the big bad is in this DLC. However, before I get into this, I want to slap up that spoiler warning, as I will be covering some details from the main story, so Those who haven't beaten the game and don't want to hear my solid theory, feel free to skip ahead. Now that spoiler warning has been taken care of, upon further investigation of the new baddie, I noticed that she was sporting a very familiar Hydra symbol upon the chest. There is a moment in the story where Hunter speaks with Captain America and Wolverine. During this scene, they talk about raiding a Hydra base to retrieve an ancient artifact that can kill a god. During the conversation, Red Skull and Hydra are brought up, and it is revealed that Red Skull had a daughter, aka Cynthia Schmidt, aka Sin. I personally had no idea who that was coming into this game, but they gave us a little bit of backstory on Sin herself, saying that she had dated Crossbones in the past, who is also a very important character in this game. Also, to be fair, there are tons of different Easter eggs regarding characters in the Marvel Universe that were tossed around in this game. However, like I said, this one really stuck with me, and upon closer inspection of the trailer, I surmised that this could be that very same character. Granted, again, this is just an assumption and not a confirmation. An even greater counter to my claim is that typical iterations of Sin do not represent her as having powers of any kind. But then again, Hydra is known to have kept some pretty crazy items laying around in their vault, like a knife that can kill a god. So, I guess anything really is possible. Getting into the new enemy types, it looks like it is going to be very vampire based, and as such, Blade also seems to be a large part of this trailer as well. What this means is that we could get additional backstory on Blade and even some potential new items, but the new items is just a wild theory of mine. On the flip side, because there are what seems to be vampires in this upcoming DLC, the potential for Morbius to finally make an appearance is a real possibility. He's even hinted at in some dialogues with Blade as well, so this may mark a first appearance of some sorts. And that just about covers the good, the bad, and the undead Deadpool DLC. If you guys did enjoy the video, as always, make sure that you smash that like and subscribe button. Also, don't forget to head over and check out that Discord link where the latest and the greatest discussions on everything Midnight Suns is taking place. Until next time, everyone, this is Sly Spy Gaming, signing out.